If you're the loudest leader in the room, you're probably the weakest one there. See, in 2026, everybody is shouting. Leaders are posting, they're podcasting, they're building a brand, they're jumping into every meeting just to be heard. But here's the combat proven truth about that. The leaders who actually win in combat and in business are usually the quietest people in the room. And you can call it being stoic, you can call it calm, being introverted if you want. I call it the quiet professional rule. And if you don't understand it this year, you're likely going to lose your best people and maybe even your job. So stay with me. I'm going to break this down to exactly what the quiet professional rule is, how I learned it in the SEAL teams, and how you can apply it this week with your team. You see, we live in the noisiest leadership era in human history. Everybody's being told, you need to speak up more. You need to be more visible. You need to control the narrative. And some of that is true, but a lot of leaders took that message and they turned into attention addicts. They talk first. They give the answer before they've even heard the problem. They dominate the room. And then they wonder why nobody brings them the hard truth. And here's the paradox. The more you feel that you need to keep proving you're the leader, the less your people actually trust your leadership. You see, in the SEAL teams, that behavior could get people hurt. In your company, it's killing innovation, psychological safety, and performance. So let me take you back to a moment where I watched this play out in real time. We were in the middle of a high-stress training evolution. So think multiple moving parts, tight timeline, everyone is tired, everyone is on edge. And we had a leader on that evolution, and I'll just call him Mike. Just for the sake of this story, Mike isn't his real name. But Mike was smart, he was experienced, and he was very loud. And anytime we'd hit friction, he would raise his voice, he'd jump on the radio, and he'd just start directing everything. And, he thought that he was just taking charge, but what he was really doing was shutting down the information flow. And so I watched guys just stop talking. I watched small problems go unmentioned because everybody knew if I bring this up, Mike's just going to come on the radio and start barking all over me and tell me what I already know. And then a detail slip. Nothing catastrophic, thankfully, but it was the kind of detail that in combat would get somebody killed. And so after that evolution, one of the quietest, most respected guys on the team, another senior leader, pulled him aside and he said this, brother, you're talking so much that you can't hear what you actually need to hear. And when I overheard him saying that to Mike, it really hit me. Because in the teams, we knew something that most corporate leaders never learn. We don't rise to the occasion. We fall to the level of our training. Let me say that to you again. We don't rise to the occasion. Instead, we fall to the level of our training. And a part of that training is learning when to shut up and listen when it matters the most. That is really the heart of the quiet professional rule. So what is the quiet professional rule? It's simple. The more responsibility you have, the less you need to talk and the more you need to observe. And now I know that sounds counterintuitive, but trust me on this one. The more responsibility you have, the less you need to talk, the more you need to observe. So I'm going to break this down into 3 behaviors that you can start using immediately. Number 1, quiet professionals listen for what's not being said. Most leaders only hear words. Quiet professionals listen for silence. Who stops speaking up in your meetings? Which topic always gets rushed past? Where does the room go tense and nobody wants to make eye contact? That is where real work and leadership lives. In the teams, the best leaders will watch the room before they spoke. They would notice junior guys in the corner who would keep opening their mouths like they had something to say, but then they would close it and they would never say it. And they would purposely call on that operator. And they would go, hey, you look like you've got something to say. What are we missing? And then they would stop. They would stop talking. They didn't care how long it took for that person to respond. They would give them space. Corporate translation for you in your next meeting, just speak last and ask, what are we not talking about that we should be talking about? And then, again, shut up. Count to 10 in your head if you have to, but stop talking and give the room permission to share. You will be shocked how much truth suddenly appears out of nowhere. Number 2, quiet professionals control their signal, not the noise. Loud leaders chase noise. Quiet professionals control signal and tone. So what that means is you don't jump into every Slack thread. You don't have to be CC'd on every single email. You don't have to give your opinion on every topic. That way, when you do speak, it means something. In the SEAL teams, when the calm, quiet leader grabbed the radio and said, "Everybody stop, we're changing the plans," everybody listened. And not because he yelled, but because he'd been listening the whole time and they knew it. And people trusted his restraint as a result of that. In your world, in the business world, pick one or two moments in your week where you feel like your voice truly matters. The mission brief, the one-to-one, the tough feedback conversation. In those moments, be crystal clear. Be short, be specific. Be brief, be brilliant, be gone. The rest of the time, just ask questions. Draw others out. The less you spray your opinions all over the place, the more people are going to lean into you and they're going to choose to listen to you when you do speak. Number 3, the quiet professionals let results talk for themselves. The weakest leader is constantly reminding everybody that they're the leader. They're always discussing titles and org charts and my team and my decision. Nobody cares about any of that. In high performing environments, nobody cares what your title is. They only care, do we win more when you're in charge or do we lose? That's it. Quiet professionals don't need to brand themselves as leaders. They let the results and their team's loyalty do all of the talking. So practically, that looks like saying we more than you say I. Giving credit away publicly and taking responsibility privately. Being the calmest person in the room, even when things go sideways. As a leader, that is priceless. In 2026, everybody is obsessed with being seen as the leader, and especially online. The quiet professional is only obsessed with one thing. Did my people win this week? So let me make this tactical for y'all. Here are 3 things that you can start doing this week to start living the quiet professional rule as a leader. Number 1, pick one meeting this week and go into that meeting with the intention of speaking last. Tell yourself, I'm gonna speak last. Your only job in that meeting is to ask questions and listen. And at the end, summarize what you heard and make a clear decision. Number 2, during one conversation, ask just one more question. Like in your next one-to-one meeting, when you think you already understand everything, ask just one more question. Hey, what else should I know about this that you haven't said yet? And then be quiet. Just give them room. I don't care how long or uncomfortable the silence might be after that question. Do not talk, because that last 10% is usually where the truth lives. Number 3, choose calm over volume. So when something blows up, when there's a missed deadline, if there's an angry client, before you respond, take one full breath and model the calm you want your team to see. Just take a breath. Lower your voice, slow your speech, and be the model of calm. Do that for just 7 days and watch how your team starts bringing you more information, more ideas, and more respect. Look, anybody can be loud, but it takes discipline and training to be a quiet professional. In combat and in business, it's the quietest calibrated leaders who win in the long run. If you want more combat-proven leadership you can actually use with your team, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and send this video to one leader that you know talks a little bit too much. And if you want me to break down how to handle that one toxic, loud voice in the room, let me know in the comments. Just put break down the toxic leader. I'll build a video just for that. I hope this helps. I hope that y'all have an amazing week. Again, if you got value out of this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, and share this with another leader that you care about. I hope y'all have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.